There was something you can take from this weekend, though. And before I jump really into it, back to Constitution. Appreciate him being in the chat. I believe Michael Evans is in here as well. On a little bit of a roll this morning, so it's kind of hard for me to read that chat, especially what was a really busy weekend of football. But, of course, if you send the super chats, of course, I will find time to read those as well. But let's talk about this. The Cardinals obviously pulled back this year. And to the point where I know people will say, well, listen, at the beginning of the year, if I told you they would go 8-9, you would have taken it. And of course, that is true, but that is also extremely inauthentic and not exactly true. Because if you told me at the beginning of the year with a blind eye, if I told you they'd be 8-9, you would take it. Of course, I would say yes. But the season was a failure because you also forget to add the fact that this team was 6-4 through 11 weeks and just crapped the bed, wet themselves. Can't have that. This team should be in the playoffs right now. Now, I don't know if they should be in the conference championship game, but I should have seen them play over the past 2 weekends, at least one of those 2 weekends. So it's tough, man. But there was a clear blueprint on what the Arizona Cardinals have to be. And as you see in the lower third here, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. The Arizona Cardinals have to look at exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles have done, especially with that being one Jalen Hurts, and really assess what they need to be as a team. And I tweeted this as well. The Arizona Cardinals have to follow exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles do. Get your quarterback on what is a pretty affordable contract, and with the way they structured Jalen Hurts, $50 million a year actually doesn't look that bad because it was so front-loaded with the signing bonus and with all that money that the cap hit actually isn't that bad. It's when I tell people that the salary cap is just a figment of your imagination. It is true. You can convert things into signing bonuses. It's how much does your owner want to win? So the Philadelphia Eagles, you look at their quarterback, he wasn't very good. Again, 15 for 20, 128 yards. Now, he was sacked 7 times in this game, passer rating of 91, QBR of 49. But the Arizona Cardinals have to follow what the Philadelphia Eagles do. Stop asking your quarterback to do so much. Lean into what he does well, run the football, and being accurate and precise. Even with Kyler Murray's deep ball, he could be even better than that, than one Jalen Hurts is. You have to fill up the holes in your offensive line, fix the guards, fix the right tackle. You have to have superb line play. You have to have a running back, James Conner, or who knows, maybe someone you draft, Cam Skattebo is a name, to help carry this offensive load and taking a real load off of Kyler Murray. And you have to stack the offense, as well as establish a culture of physicality. The Arizona Cardinals have a lot of the weapons and a lot of the, personnel that the Eagles have, and it's what they need to follow. It is much easier said than done. But Jalen Hurts doesn't look like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL over the past 6 weeks. He just doesn't look that great. Now, he was injured, coming back from concussion, but if you told me the Washington Commanders won next week, I wouldn't be that surprised because the better quarterback right now, and it's not necessarily close, is Jaden Daniels. But you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles have done to this point to get back here, and the Cardinals have to follow that blueprint. It was showed this weekend what the Arizona Cardinals have to do to get back to the playoffs and get back to potential Super Bowl caliber. You got to fix the offensive line, especially that right tackle. You've got to draft exceptionally well, especially defensively. I'm talking about Cooper DeJean, as well as other draft picks for the Eagles defensively. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, guys like that. Nakobe Dean. Those are all players the Eagles have drafted. You have to do that defensively. You have to get better on the offensive line, fix the right tackle. You got to get a great running back. Maybe you draft one, or you believe in James Conner to do that for longer past this year to carry that offense, take a load off of Kyler, get good wide receivers, and you have those. But you need to take a lot of pressure off of Kyler because it is clear what he is. He's not a top 5 guy. He's not a top 8 guy. He's a fringe, at this point, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Where if you lean into what he does well, accurate, precise, run the football, use his legs, stack the offense, keep him on a good contract, fix the offensive line, draft well defensively, make smart free agency decisions, that is what you have to do. Lean on the run game. That's the blueprint for the Cardinals. Now, it is much easier said than done, but you look at what Jalen Hurts did this weekend. 15 for 20, 128 yards. There were 2 quarterbacks on the field this weekend between Matthew Stafford and Jalen Hurts. And one looked like a supremely talented quarterback that has won a Super Bowl before. And one looks like he's still trying to get back to his Super Bowl form a few years ago when he played Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So it is very clear what the Cardinals have to be. And you have a head coach who came from that regime and has to try to figure out a way to replicate that regime. And it's not like the Eagles have this superbly talented offensive coordinator. They don't. People didn't like Kellen Moore for years. He's gotten better, but he's not Ben Johnson. He's not Kyle Shanahan. He's not Cliff Kingsbury as a play caller. So it was very clear, and it hit the Cardinals in the face this weekend what they have to be. They have to be the Philadelphia Eagles of the West Coast. You got to be physical, strong, lean on the run, fix the offensive line, draft well defensively. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Nakobe Dean. Listen, it's not easy, and I don't even know if they can replicate it, but that's what they have to be because they don't have a quarterback good enough to carry them, and it's not going to change. They don't have that guy. It's year 7. He's not Jaden Daniels. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's Jalen Hurts. You can get to a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. You can nearly win the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. We saw Brock Purdy nearly win one. So it's possible. It's just a lot of extra hoops that you have to jump through if you're Kyler and if you're the Arizona Cardinals. But I thought what you saw this weekend, Saquon Barkley running the football, A.J. Brown timely first down receptions in that first quarter, the defense playing well for most of that game. Now, they nearly gave it up, but that's what you have to do. And I'd rather have Jonathan Gannon as a head coach than Nick Sirianni. I just would. I like the stability and level-headedness of that being one Jonathan Gannon over Nick Sirianni, but it was tough. It was tough to see because that is exactly what you have to be for the Cardinals. Be the Philadelphia Eagles of the West Coast. Easily said, not easily replicated.